Hello and welcome to today's science lesson. So first of all guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera? Hello. Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our laps and close our eyes. And when you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Excellent. And next we'll do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And let's begin by stretching up high to the sky. High as we can. And then we'll go down low. Touch your toes. Back up high one more time. And this time, can we go tippy toe high? And while we're there, let's have a wave. And then back down to touch your toes once more. And now let's stand up and have a shake. Arms and legs. Shake it out. We'll do 5 stretches to our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 stretches to our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. And now we'll take our right hand and we'll find our left foot. Then our left hand and find our right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. And final couple now. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. And to finish, guys, we can do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Have a seat. So in our previous science lesson, we learned more about classification of plants. Yes, we've been looking at how we can classify plants into different groups. And in the last lesson, we learned how to classify plants based on their life cycles. And we had 3 different categories based on life cycles, guys. The first category were the plants that live for only 1 year. Now, who can remember what was the name of the group of plants that we call for living only 1 year? Annual. Well done. Well remembered, guys. We had annual. A-N-N-U-A-L. Now, annual is the group of plants that live for 1 year. Okay, 1 year only. But then we had another group of plants that live for more than 1 year. They live for 2. And can anybody remember the name of the group of plants for 2 years? Biennial. Well done, yes. B-I-E-N-N-I-A-L. And biennials, they live for 2 years. And then there was our final and third group of plants. And these are the plants that live for more than 2 years. And their name began with P. Perennials. Yes, well done, guys. Well remembered. P-E-R-E-N-N-I-A-L. So perennial is 2 or more years. So altogether, annual, 1 year. Biennial, 2 years. Perennial, more than 2 years. What we're going to do now is we're going to see how well our students remember from the previous lesson. I'm going to give you the name of some plants and see if you can remember which group do each of the plants go into. Annual, biennial, or perennial. So if I say to you the rose plant, what group of plants does the rose plant belong to? Perennial is right, because roses live for more than 2 years. So we can say, how do we spell rose, guys? R-O-S-E. R-O-S-E. A rose is a perennial plant. It lives for more than 2 years. But how about a rice plant? What do we think about rice plants? How many? Annual. How many years for a rice plant?
1 year.
Only 1 year. So a rice plant is annual. Spell rice. Excellent. And then we can think of other types of foods too. How about carrots? Biennial. Carrots live for how many years? Or the carrot plant? 2 years. C-A-R-R-O-T. Carrot, biennial. Well, how about, let me think, corn? Corn plants. Excellent. Yes, again, corn plants live for 1 year or 1 season, so they are annual. C-O-R-N, corn. Now let's see if we can think of another. How about lavender? Lavender plant. Perennial, yes. Like the rose, the lavender lives for more than 2 years. Excellent. How about a cabbage plant? Biennial. So cabbages live for how many years? 2 years. 2 years. Excellent. B-B-A-G-E. And then let's see if we can get one more for each category. How about lilies? Again? Perennial. So lilies live for how long? 2. More than 2. 3 years. Make sure it's more than 2 years. And lily is spelled L. Lily plant. Excellent. How about potatoes? Potatoes, biennial, P-O-T-A-T-O. And one more for annual, grain. Annual, and we spell grain, G-R-A-I-N. Excellent, guys. So we've got some examples of the 3 different categories of plants based on life cycle. Annual, 1 year. Rice, corn, grain. Biennial, 2 years. Carrot, cabbage, potato. Yes, you'll notice all of these types of plants are vegetables. And vegetables usually consist of a life cycle of 2 years, biennial. And then we had perennial, rose, lavender, lily. These are plants that live for more than 2 years and are called perennials. But guys, that was excellent. Very well remembered. Well done. And what we're going to do in today's lesson is we're going to focus on a particular type of plant. And some of the examples are on the board already. Rose, lavender, lily. Now, these are all plants, but thinking back to previous categories, what type of plants are these? We know they're perennial, but there's something special about these type of plants too. What do these type of plants also produce? Perfect. Flowers. These are what we also categorize as flowering plants. The rose has flowers. The lavender also has flowers. And lilies too have flowers. So what we're going to do in today's lesson is we're going to focus on flowering plants and look at the different parts of a flowering plant and understand the different things that each part can do. So what we've got now is a PowerPoint presentation and then a video presentation too for our students to listen and observe about the different parts of a flowering plant. So let's turn to look at the TV screen, please, guys. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint presentation about parts of flowering plants. Yes, and you can see in the picture here, this is an example of a flowering plant. Because what can you see? Flowers. Yes, all flowering plants will produce flowers. And we can usually tell the flowers by their beautiful colours. They're not just green, there'll be many different colours. Each part of a plant is important to help it grow and live healthily. Yes, remember, plants are living things too, just like us. And just like we need our bodies, like our heads, our stomachs, our arms to live, plants need different parts to help live healthily too. Roots. The first part of a plant we'll look at is roots. Provide support to the plant by anchoring the plant to the soil. Yes. Now normally, do we think we can see the roots of a plant? No, that's correct. The roots of the plant are underground in the soil. So the roots are the part of the plant that we cannot see because the roots anchor the plant into the soil. In some plants, such as carrots and radishes, the food is stored in the roots. Yes. And what type of food can you see in the picture? Carrots. Now look where the carrots are. The carrots are where the roots should be. But in this case, the carrot plant has the carrot as its roots. And then the rest of the plant, you can see, grows above and comes out of the ground. And when the carrot grows, we have to pull them out of the ground when they're ready. Plants can have different root systems, such as taproot and fibrous root. Yes, you can see in the pictures here the two different types of root systems. The one where there's not so many roots and is just a couple of long strands is known as taproot. But then look at the next picture. Look at all the smaller different types of roots here. This is what we call fibrous. Yes, so all plants will have one of the two systems. And then stems. Stems provide support to the leaves and flowers by raising them up to the sun. Yes, you can see here the main body of the plant is the stem. The stem is what takes the plant from the soil up into the sky. And then at the top end, you can see the other parts of the plant that grow too. But it's the stem that can take it there. Plants can have different stem types, such as soft and woody stems. Yes. Now the first one here, the green stem, is what we call soft stem. That means that the stem can bend. But the next type of stem, the brown one, woody stem. And it's like a stick. It's a hard piece of wood. That means it can't bend. And all plants will have one of these two types of stem systems. And then we can look at leaves. Leaves help to capture sunlight and to make food for the plant. Yes, you can see here that the leaves of the plant go right high up into the sky. And that's because the job of the leaves is to capture the sunlight. That's why you never see leaves on a plant at the bottom. The leaves of the plant will always be near the top so that they have the best chance to capture the sunlight. Different plants have leaves of different shapes and sizes. You can see in our picture here, look at all the different types of leaves, all different shapes. But mainly, what colour are they? Green. Yes. Nearly all of the time, the colour of the leaves will be green, but there are exceptions. Most plants have green leaves, but some plants have leaves of other colours. Yes, such as the examples in this picture here. What other colours can you see? Orange, yellow, red. Yes. And particularly a sign when a plant is dying, the leaves will turn brown and you can see that they're not healthy. But healthy plants can also have different colour leaves too. And like you say, we have orange, yellow and brown. But 95% of all leaves on plants are green. Some plants also produce flowers of different shapes, sizes, and colours. Yes, and remembering today, we're looking at flowering plants. So all of the plants we've seen today have flowers. And as you can see, similar to leaves, there are many different colours. What colours can we see here? Purple, green, white too. And you notice some plants or some flowers even have different colours. Like you can see this flower here starts off purple and then becomes green. So yes, and here we have flowers that are white yellow, and green. So as well as being different colours, some flowers can even have different colours themselves. And some flowers produce fragrant aromas, which are nice to smell. Yes, sometimes when you have a nice smell in the flower shop, it's because of the smell produced by the flowers. But not all flowers smell nice. There are some that smell quite bad, but normally most of them are nice. And some plants also produce fruits, which grow at different times throughout the year. Yes, flowering plants can produce fruits, but they don't all produce fruits at the same time. Different fruits have different things known as seasons. And the season is when the fruits will grow. For example, you might have strawberries that grow at one time in the year, but then bananas will grow at another time. Any questions, guys? No. Okay. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the video and PowerPoint presentations so that they can better understand the different parts of a flowering plant and begin to learn how each part of the plant functions. And we've got a worksheet activity coming up soon for our students to design their own flowering plants. But first of all, guys, let's stand up and push in our chairs. Time for our stretch sequence. And for this sequence, we'll have a game of Teacher Says. So listen carefully. Teacher says, hands on head. Teacher says, touch your knees. Hands on shoulders. Teacher says, arms in the air. Arms down. Teacher says, arms down. Teacher says, turn around. Back the other way. Teacher says, back the other way. Teacher says, walking on the spot. Stop. Teacher says, jogging on the spot. Stop. Teacher says, jumping. Stop. Teacher says, stop. Teacher says, down into a little ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jump. Teacher says, jump. Excellent, guys. And teacher says, sit down. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a brief board exercise to design our own plant. And what we're going to do is look at the different parts of a plant. So first of all, guys, let's write that on the board. Parts, P, A, R, T, S. Parts of O-F, A, plant. P-L-A-N-T. Parts of a plant. Now, thinking back to the video and the PowerPoint presentations, who can remember the part of the plant that belongs underground? The roots. Excellent, Pak Bung. First of all, we had the parts of the plant that we never see. And these are what anchor the soil, or these are what anchor the plant to the soil. So first of all, we have roots. O-O-T-S. Now, moving on from the roots, what was the main part of the plant that brings the flowers? Excellent. So we've got a main shoot here coming out of the ground. This is the stem. And how do we spell stem? S-T-E-M. Excellent. So now our plant is beginning to take shape. We've got roots, we've got our stem, but now we need some other things. Excellent. And who can remember the name of the green things that come off the stem? Leaf, yes. How many, does a plant have one leaf or more? More than one. Yes, it has more than one. So we can do some more here. And then, how do we spell remembering more than one? Leaves. L-E-A-V-E-S. So we've got roots, stem, leaves. Yes. Anything else we can have on our... Exactly. Today we're talking about flowering plants. So what will a flowering plant need? It will need flowers. So let's see, we could have a flower like this. You can see here, we have flower. F-L-O-W-E-R. Now remember guys, when you come to design your own flowering plant, the flower is the part that can be many beautiful colours. So make sure your flowers look very pretty. But as well as flowers, some flowering plants also produce something else that sometimes we can eat. Fruit. Excellent. Some plants also produce things that we call fruits. And these can grow off the branches and the leaves similar to the flowers. And how do we spell fruits, guys? F-R-U-I-T-S. So here is a brief board exercise to remember our students about the different parts of a plant. We have roots, stem, leaves, flower, and fruits. So when you design your own flowering plant soon, guys, make sure they have all of these different parts. And that was very well done and remembered. And now it's time for our worksheet part of the lesson. So teachers, make sure all of the students in your classroom have a worksheet each. And it's now time for our students to demonstrate their knowledge by designing their own flowering plant. And remembering, guys, that we need to label all the different parts too. So we have leaves, roots, stem, flowers, and fruits. So remembering the PowerPoint and video presentations from earlier, and also the board exercise we've done, our students can now design, colour, and label their own flowering plant. But what's the first thing to do, guys? Names on top. And give our students around 15 minutes for this exercise, and make sure they colour in their flowers too. So Chu, this one's for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Pat, for you. Nadia, here's yours. You're welcome. Net, for you. Down, for you. Prel, here's yours. Bangpon, for you. And Laka. Okay, guys, so names on top, and then design your own flowering plants. Remembering your flowers can be any colours. You can have many different flowers too. But they all need certain things. What do we need at the bottom? Roots. Then after our roots, we have our stem. And then leaves, flowers, and fruits. Or you can decide on what type of flowers, colours, and fruits you want your flowering plant to have. Okay, so that's good, Tube. So you started with your soil. And then what's the part of the plant that goes into the soil? Roots. Yes. So you make sure your roots are the things that go underground. Roots anchor our plants into the soil. Excellent. Well done, Bangpon. So we have roots. Now you can label. So roots here. Yes? Okay. Excellent, Pak Bung. Roots. And don't forget, when you draw your plants too, label the parts, so I know that you understand which part everything is. Excellent, Nadia. Ned, that's brilliant. So Ned has correctly, he's drawn his roots and labelled them also. Brilliant, Ned, well done. And don't forget to use your colouring pencil, guys, particularly for your flowers, which can be many different colours. Your roots will be black or brown. Your stem and your leaves will be green. Your fruits and your flowers, that's up to you. Okay, so what part of the plant is this? Roots. And don't forget, down, colour too. Excellent, Lakgao. That looks like a very pretty flowering plant. And then when you finish designing all your different parts, colour in too. Excellent, Pak Bung. Roots, stem, flower. And then, what types of fruits? We could have bananas, apples, strawberries, cherries, many different types. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet activity where they had to design, colour and label the different parts of flowering plants. So everyone must have all of the following: roots, stem, leaves, fruits, and flowers. And they are the main components of each different flowering plant. So well done, guys. That was excellent. And that's all we've got time for today's lesson. So we hope you've enjoyed it, found it interesting, and now know more about the different parts of flowering plants. And we'll see you again soon for the next lesson. So can we turn to wave and say goodbye, guys? Goodbye. Bye-bye. See you again soon.